Okay, so now that we've talked about all the things that we need to get, now we need to create the contact board, right? So what I did is I measured using our faithful ruler the distance, from the end of this board, the bottom of the pedal board, to a little bit past around 3/4 of the way up the magnet. And the reason I didn't go all up the magnet is because I just wanted some space so that if I need to go back and fix something, I can, locate and see what I can just look inside of the contact and see where the problem is. So that's what I measured, and it was about 3.5 inches. All right, and then the next thing I measured was the width of the magnet, and then just a little bit on either side of the magnet to give me some room to play around with where I'm going to put the switch. So I found that to be about 1 inch. Okay, so once we figured out those measurements, we now turn to our board that we're going to use. So here, we have a saw. Please be very careful with this. Also, a word on the saw. I bought this really cheap miter thing that came with the saw, and this is actually very good. I just mounted it to another piece of wood that I'm going to use for the bench, just for the time being. And this actually worked out fine. The saw, however, was trash. So it dulled out like super quick. So I went back and I bought this very heavy duty saw, and it works beautifully, as you can see. I mean, it just takes everything out. So basically I just measured out inch segments, along the board, and then just sawed each one. So what I ended up with was little blocks like this here, right? And since you're wondering why I have plastic on the ground, it's because I'm not outside. I'm actually in my room sawing the contact board for my organ. So this may have been a bad idea, but it worked. So I just, duct taped some plastic trash bags onto the floor, and just reinforced it with some cardboard just to make sure I didn't cut into the carpet or onto the wooden floor. And then the plastic catches all the sawdust. So, also another trick, what you're going to end up with is, depending on how good your saw is, you may end up with like these fine little pieces on the side. And what I've been doing, since I don't have sandpaper and I want to go back to the store because I want to finish this tonight, I've just been using a hobby knife, which is probably going to dull it out. But if you just kind of scrape it along the side, it will remove a lot of this roughness around the edges. That one's not that bad, but like this one right here, you can see you don't want all this on there. So just if you have a hobby knife or something with a decent edge on it, just run it along the side and it will clean that up. So now that we've done that, we end up with a nice smooth block of wood, right? Inch by around 3.5 inches. So this is how I think I'm going to rig this for the wiring. So this could change once I lay it on, and I'll tell you after I, mess around with this, because I'm doing this on the fly. So here, what I'm basically going to do is so I took a screw, right? Screw, flat end, this regular screw with a nut here, a washer, another nut, washer, oops, there it goes. Oh. And a wing nut right here, right? So the idea is that we're going to, now that it's all falling apart, I'm going to drill a smaller hole through here, and then I'm going to screw this through this block, right? And then I'm going to wrap a wire or wrap the reed switch wire along this end here, right? And then that way I can adjust the reed switch. And I'll explain all this in a minute, how the reed switch works. Adjust it for the magnet so that it's not touching the magnet until it's pushed down. And then I'm going to put another screw. So this is going to rest just like so, right? And this is going to be sitting up like this. And then this will be on the top so that you can tension it more, I think. And then I'm going to put another screw straight down through here. And this will hold this in place like this so that you can still operate the pedal without getting any, without touching the contact. And then, so we'll do two of those screws, just the same setup. And then we'll just run the wire on the back side. So it keeps it away from this mechanical action of the pedal, because we don't want it getting caught and messed up. So that's that. So saw these, you need 32 of them, and once you've done that, I will start working on the reed switches and getting those aligned and giving a short demonstration of the reed switch. Alright, good luck with this.